Are you effing happy? I told you the rig was going to effing blow. In fact, will you print me that? Because that's the sub-headline. And so the Anadarko and Halliburton engineers said it's going to blow up. You can't dump seawater into this before we've capped it with cement and mud. It's coming in with incredible pressure, and they gave them orders to do something they knew would blow up. And then it indeed did blow up. And then we expand, why would British Petroleum do this? Well, the globalists have to sacrifice even a pawn or a rook in a gambit to win this game. I mean, this is chess. And this is an important sacrifice. They can just change the name of the company, as BP's done over and over again. And BP is the top funder after Goldman Sachs and Harvard of Obama, the number 3 contributor. They are the top funder of billboards, radio ads, global carbon tax garbage. They bullied the rest of the oil industry into it. They've made their deals through government cartels. They get 80% of the oil under federal law that comes out of Alaska with those pipelines. They send it to Asia. They're top globalists. Their entire carbon tax failed when the ClimateGate emails came out and when the text of the new global treaty came out that oil taxes, gas taxes at the wellhead, at the pump head, in your home, on natural gas would all be paid to Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, and others on record in this new global consortium, a new global government with a global constitution run by private banks issuing their own cashless SDR. That's mainstream news. Herman von Rompuy, head of the EU. Gordon Brown, former head of the Britain, talking about it. Ban Ki-moon, head of the UN. Now, this is the plan. Open world government run by the banks, the Ponzi scheme operators. I mean, Madoff founded the NASDAQ. I mean, this is a $600 trillion conservative. Even the Washington Post admitted that 2 days ago. $600 trillion derivative. So they've got to have this new global tax, this new global energy tax that they can then sell derivatives on, so they get tax money. Then they also monetize the carbon credits. They own hundreds of billions of dollars in carbon credits. BP owns over $50 billion conservatively. Leveraged through fractional reserve banking, it's 5 times that. Sometimes they go all the way up to 10 times, depending on how they leverage, but they don't tend to leverage over 5 times with derivatives on cap and trade credits. Obama, Al Gore, they all totally invested in it. Chicago Mercantile, New York Stock Exchange, all of this is going on. So they've got to have. So the day it happened, I said, if it's staged, this is before I knew they gave orders to blow the well that they knew would cause it. This is before I understood all that. I said, if Obama comes out and says, I want the carbon tax to fix this and to pay for this on all Americans, we know this is a staged event. And sure enough, he comes out and says the answer to it is that. Then on top of it, for 70-plus days, what are we, almost into day 80 right now? I mean, day 79?
71.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, let's do the math. Alex,
we're not trying to interrupt you or stop you through it. We literally have the show has to end. Now they're blocking the aid. Now they're not letting skimmers from Taiwan one ship can do more than all our ships combined, the AP reports. They're not letting the Dutch or Norwegian ships come in. For 70-something days, they've been blocking the berms being built, not letting the states fix it, because they know when those hurricanes come in, it's going to blow all that oil into the shore, and now they're going to have the good crisis, as the White House chief of staff said. You can't let a good crisis go to waste. So any way you cut it, they are using this to pass their global tax to financially conquer us, and we cover it all at Infowars.com. All right, and
let's say, Alex, you can hear him 165 Talk Radio, Saturday, 6 to 9 p.m.
On XM.
That's only on XM, and it's Infowars.com.
Yep.
And Prison Planet, one word, prisonplanet.tv. Weekdays, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have to wrap up because the computer shuts us off at a certain time.
Well, gentlemen, you've been very nice, and I'd like to invite you on my show, but we can't say potty words there. But
that's fine.
Of course not.
No, but I'd like to invite both of you on my transmission if you'd grace the program.
There's actually 3 of us. It was Opie, Anthony, and I'm Jim. There's 3 of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
I was napping.
I've seen the. I mean, Joe Rogan loves you guys, and every time we're hanging out, he asked me if I listen to the show, and yes, I've known about you guys for probably 4 or 5 years.
Well, we appreciate having you on. I don't agree with a lot of it, but you're a very compelling guy, and you make great points. And I would love to listen to your show.
You absolutely get people thinking there, Alex.
Hey, I converted Joe Rogan. I mean, when I knew Joe 12 years ago, when he'd come and visit in Austin,
Joe's
he
a
didn't believe
drug
anything.
addict.
Yeah, Joe is very easy to convert. All you got to do is throw a fucking hash brownie in his face.
Joe is really smart.
Joe
We
takes
love Joe.
acid
No, we
and
love Joe.
shrooms.
Alex, we'd like to make jokes here. You didn't pick up
understand.
on many of the jokes today, but that's
I bet
all right.
Joe can kick your ass in mine.
All four of
I'd
us
like to see
together.
him do
Believe
that.
me.
All right.
Giant.
I'd like to see him do that.
Yeah,
you
that
will.
is true. I'll
Let me tell you,
I'll slap Joe in the mouth.
Joe Rogan is a wild man. He's the real deal. I can tell you. Listen, I'm a killer, and I can tell another killer when I see
You know,
one.
Joe disrespected me one time. I slapped him in the mouth, and he apologized
That's
immediately.
right, he did. I was there. What do you got for that, Alex?
Yes.
Shoot me in a dream. You better wake up and
apologize.
Okay.
That's,
All right.
that's
All
no
right.
conspiracy
Hey, gentlemen,
theory. That
I
happened.
appreciate you. I appreciate you
certainly.
having me on the show.
right,
Care
buddy.
about your
Okay.
families. Research the info.
Okay.
I mean, there's things bigger than... Hey, God bless you. Infowars.com.
All right,
Take care,
thank you,
Alex. Be well.
PrisonPlanet.com.
All right, Alex
good.
Jones, everyone.
He was an interesting guy, man. I mean,
Gets you thinking a little
I don't
bit,
agree
right?
with it. Because people were saying, well, is he going to be at the Borgata July 2nd and 3rd? And I'm
right, I
like,
was just
why
gonna
would
ask.
he be there this weekend?
I was just going to ask. Jimmy Norton will be there, though.
But he was,
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that is just like you go, like, I'm exhausted.
well, there's certain things like, I didn't like the way we were kind of keep getting away from. I don't want to harp on the Kennedy
getting away
assassination,
from the point.
but the House Select Committee assassinations. He didn't want to talk about whatever. He's a smart dude, and
By the way,
I
Jimmy
just
was
don't-
very, very good with like, he was tripping up on a few things. He was contradicting himself, and Jimmy was very good at pointing that out.
But it's not to say that he's a phoney. I don't think he is. I think
No,
he's
no,
very
he's-
smart. My only thing
He's also
is,
got a job to do.
Yes.
He's got a gig. Let's be serious. I don't leave here, and I'm not completely the Anthony
Sure.
from the radio show. Believe me.
but to me, any conspiracies, like whenever you point out certain things, I almost never hear conspiracy theories guys go, oh yeah, that's a good point. You know, I didn't think of that. Like, yeah, that does make it more sense to do this way. They always have to, again, because the agenda becomes a conspiracy, and their whole thing is, I have to prove the
The
conspiracy.
conspiracy is more important than the event.
Than the events
Than
of
the
what
event
happened.
itself.
The idea of conspiracy becomes more important than the events.
And a lot of these conspiracy guys are so hung up on the Gulf of Tonkin incident. And yes, it happened, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every time we go to war,
Yeah.
there has been some type of government-run conspiracy event to get us into it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are behind-the-scenes shit that goes on that we'll never know about. But they take one instance, and then it has to mean every time something happens, that instance is the benchmark for it. No.
I just don't believe, and again, that certain people would risk everything to cover up certain things. Some people, I'm sure, would. But the mass level of these conspiracies, to me, is what trips them up, because I don't care how black ops they are, they're people. And on a certain level, you can't get you can't get people to keep those kind of secrets, world-changing secrets. You're not going to get groups of people.
Exactly. That's the biggest argument I have against
Although what he's
all
saying
of it.
about Goldman Sachs and a lot of these scumbags in banking, I have a much easier time believing a lot of that.
There you go. Well, we should thank...
Alex was enjoyable, though. I enjoyed talking to him.
I thought it was Mancow.
No, he does sound like
yeah,
that.
a lot of people are
Was
saying
that
that.
Mancow, Bubba the Love Sponge, Maxwell? Who was that guy?
Yeah, he does kind of sound like a radio guy.
That
but
voice, right?
Alex Jones, very enjoyable guy, a nice guy.
All right, let's chop out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.